Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa may yudlilhu fala hadiyalah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness, we seek refuge with Allah for the wickedness of ourselves and for the badness of our deeds. Whoever be given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. Whoever being misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to worship except Allah, only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His messenger and His servant. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Really, you are most worthy of praises and more exalted in nobility. Alhamdulillah, today inshallah we'll continue with our 50 Quranic rules on soul and life. And last week, we finished 27th rule of the rule of Al-Quran. That is about whoever purified themselves, they are purifying for himself only. Whoever do the purification, then his purification is for his own soul, not for others. So Alhamdulillah, we continue about that. And even the last page about that topic, the author give us some of the ways for us to purify our soul, because purifying soul is so important. So the way is actually he give us around eight ways for us to purify ourselves, inshallah. Today inshallah we continue go into the 28th rules of Quranic rules about soul and life. There is the saying of Allah, actually from three places in the Quran, in Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 85, Al-A'raf 85, Hud also 85, and Shu'ara 183. Al-A'raf, Hud, both of it is actually in the verse 85, and Shu'ara 183. So this rule, they saying that wala tabakhasun nasha asya'ahum. Wala tabakhasun nas asya'ahum. Don't you deprive people of their due, or don't belittle or decrease people from their rights or from their things. He said here, so we continue and we read about it, because inside the explanation of the rule, we will know about the meaning, or also how to practice or implement this rule. Wala tabakhasun nas asya'ahum. Don't you all deprive or reduce people of their due or their things. He said here, hadhihi qa'idatun Qur'aniyyatun. This is a Quranic rule. Tattasilu biwaqi'in nas. That is actually related to the reality of the people, of the human. Sawa'un fi abwabil mu'amalat. Either it is in the topic, in the matter of mu'amalat, means that public relationship between people, and actually related to the money matters, about money, about your economy or your wealth. هذا أصل في سياقها الذي وردت فيه. That is the original subject that this rule came into in the Quran. Because all of the rule will be said after this, that being said by the Prophet of Allah, Shu'aib, when he tried to reproach or correcting his people. Among things that his people is doing is they always lie in their measurement. Whenever they measure things for people, they will fully for people they will reduce. For themselves, they will make sure that it is more, or they have all their rights or more than what is they should have. That is one of the things. Because if we look into the story of the prophets, messengers of Allah, we can see that some of the sickness in the humankind is being actually scattered between them. Like in the people of Abraham, the clear sign is about not worshipping only Allah. Even in the time of Noah, they don't worship only Allah. They have other idols that they worship with Allah. If you look into the people of Lut, their sickness are about pervertness in sexual doing. They essentially they have the relationship between man and man. And about the people of Shu'aib, the people of Madian, among things that being tried to be reproached by Shu'aib is actually about their doings not to be fair to others in measurement. So he said here, because this topic, this rule came into because of the saying of Shu'aib. So the original verse is actually about economy, about buying and selling. Am fi abwab taqyimin nasi aw al-a'mal, or about the topic of to value people or works, to value people or their works. And you have to give full credit for whatever they do. Do not reduce anything that from their right. Kama sayati bayanuhu qariban, as what will come is explanation after this, not far. Wa hadhihi al-qa'idatul Qur'aniyatul karimatu takarrarat thalath marratin fi kitabillahi azza wa jalla. And this Quranic rule, noble Quranic rule, being repeated 3 times in the book of Allah azza wa jalla. Kulluha fi qissati Shu'aib alayhi wa ala nabiyyina afdhalus salatu wassalam. All of it is inside the story of Shu'aib, upon him and upon our prophet, the best salat and salam. Wa min al-ma'lumi anna min jumlatil umuri allati wa'adha biha Shu'aibun qaumahu mas'alatu at-tatfifi fil kayli wal mizan, haythu kana hadha fashiyan fihim wa muntashiran bainahum. It's actually being known, like I said just now, being known that among things that being reminded and being teach by Shu'aib for his people are the problem of tatfifil fi mikyal, reducing in kail and mizan. Kail is actually measurement. Mizan is weighing. It's actually the two things being still in the Arab country. When they sell anything, they have 2 types of measurement, to weigh or to measure things that you buy. Either by kail, means that like the imperial measurement. Normally the thing is being be put by the king. Like that mud, 4 mud is 1 saw. This is actually they not weighing the thing by the weight, but they measure the thing by measurement. 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. He says you can also see this measurement in the story of Joseph alayhi salam. When he tried to take away his brother, he put the weighing the cup. He said that the king measurement, that the scale that the king put to measure food when they want to give food to people, they will put it how much that the thing can carry. That is actually the measurement. The other one that we have is actually the weighing. Is that you put something here to weight something here to become equivalent. That is mizan. Kail is actually an imperial measurement. Mizan is actually by weighing, by this and this. Two things being weighed together. They have that two things. So the two type of measurement until now in Arab country, they're still using that. If you go to their market, when you want to buy anything like kismis, raisins, or dates, they will sell it to you either by measurement, that measurement, or by weighing, weight or measurement. Okay. حيث كان هذا فاشيا فيهم, because this reducing people's measurement and weight is actually so all spread in them, and also become common between them. وهذا مثال من جملة أمثلة كثيرة. This is actually what being said here in the story of Shu'aib. Is actually an example from among many examples تدل على شمول دعوات الأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام. That is actually to show that the generalness, the completeness of the calling of the calling or the da'wah or the teaching of the prophets upon them, salat and salam. Lijami'i manahil hayah, for every angle of living. They are not talking about the act of worship only. They also go into the people relationship in the family, in their life, in their connection between one each other. So that essentially means that all the prophet doesn't come to you just to say worship Allah, or to teach you how to worship Allah only. They also go into the personal matter, family matter, and also society matter, society problems. It's not only about act of worship only. Okay. وأنهم كما يدعون إلى أصل الأصول, that they, as they being called, they being taught or being called to the origin of all the pillars, وهو التوحيد. There is tawhid. فهم يدعون إلى تصحيح جميع المخالفات الشرعية. They also being called to correct or to reproach all the things that essentially go against the Sharia. Whatever being told by Allah, the law of Allah, they should not go against it. Anything, not only about the act of worship, but also from their relationship between them in their family and their society. That is the thing. Mahma zanna ba'dun nasi annaha mukhalafatun hani'atun. Even though some people thought that it is actually a small, really small things that actually go against the Sharia. Even though some people say it's small. All people are doing it. Sometimes when you told people about morals and manners, some of them will say that all people is doing it. So why should we concern about that? But the problem is because the teaching of the prophets or the messengers of Allah upon them, peace and good prayers from Allah, all of them is actually not only talking about this the big thing. Even the small things actually will affecting them. Because in taqwa, in fear towards Allah, you are not being counted only on big things that you do. The small thing that you do also will be counted by Allah. Everything, not only the big things. Because some people say that, I think Allah will not concern about this. Just do it. It's okay. Small things. We say in Malay, they say dosa kering, the dry sin. Not big sin, dry sin. But the problem is in relationship of fear towards Allah or being a pious person. You don't concern yourself about either it's big or small. Because Allah testing you about leaving whatever He forbid you from doing it. He forbid you from doing it. He actually want to see that you actually really realizing that He is watching you, listening to you, all knowing about whatever inside your heart. So whenever a person have piety, fear towards Allah, it doesn't matter big or small. Don't ever say that this is big, small things. Because if you look into what Allah said in Surah Al-Kahfi, verse number 49, Allah said, "Wawudi al-kitab," and the book will be put off, and will be spread. Fatar al-mujrimina mushfiqina mimma fih, and you will see that those who do wrongdoings feeling so afraid, so weak about whatever inside that book. وَيَقُولُونَ, and they will say, Ya wailatana, oh disaster upon us. Ma li hadzal kitab, why is this book? La yughadiru saghiratan wala kabiratan, it didn't leave out any small thing or big things, illa ahsaha, except it's written there. It's written there. Wajadu ma amilu hadira, and they found out whatever they did in this world, in their life, hadira is in front of them. Wala yazlimu rabbuka ahada, and your God, Allah, will never ever being tyranny to being unjust to anybody. Ever small thing or big thing, it's still the same for Allah. So that's why here inside this, the thing about to reduce in weighing or in measurement for people, because you want more profit for you, you start to lie, to not giving people their right, because all the right of humankind will be asked in front of Allah. Even the Prophet ﷺ did say about even a stick of brush that being used, if you being unjust to your brother, even about that stick, not a whole land, not a house, not a car, not a big thing, just a single stick, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah the Almighty, will surely get you in front of Him and your brother to be judged by Him, because what the unjust thing that you did to him, even though it's just only a stick of brush that you use. The stick of brush, how much is it? You know, Oud min Arak. Oud min Arak. They say because those people until now in the Arab country they're still using that stick. The toothbrush is sold in them, but inside their society, but the Oud Arak is still being used until today. So, إِذْ لَا يَتَحَقَّقُ كَمَالُ عُبُودِيَّةِ لِلَّهِ تَعَالَى إِلَّا بِأَنْ تَكُونَ عُلُومُ الدِّينِ وَالدُّنْيَا خَاضِعَةً لِلسُّلْطَانِ الشَّرْعِيِّ. Because the perfectness of worship Allah, worshipping towards Allah, the perfectness of worshipping towards Allah is not being realized except when all the matters of deen and dunya, means that your deen matter and your dunya matter, your life matter and your religious matter, actually bow down to the authority of the Sharia, because you are actually the servant of Allah. Allah giving you everything, and He's testing you whether you are following Him truly or just saying by your mouth. You're saying by your tongue, but really, is it true that you are following Him in everything? وأنت إذا تأملت هذه القاعدة القرآنية, and you, when you look deeply into this Quranic rule, ولا تبخسوا الناس أشياءهم, and don't deprive or reduce people of their things or their due. وجدتها جاءت بعد عموم النهي عن نقص المكيال والميزان. You found this Quranic rule came after the general forbid from reducing the measurement and the weighing, because in the ayah they came Allah said on one we take one of it. Allah said in that ayah, like in Suratil Hud, verse number 85. Allah Ta'ala said, وَيَا قَوْمِ وَيَا قَوْمِ is actually the saying of Shu'aib. وَيَا قَوْمِ, and oh my people, أَوْفُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ. أَوْفُوا الْمِكْيَالَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ. Give full measure and weight in just. Mikyal, weight, measure, weight, mizan, bilqist, in just. Wala tabakhasun nasa asya'ahum, and do not deprive the people of their due. Do not reduce people of their things. Wala ta'thaw fil ardi mufsidin, and don't you commit abuse on the earth, spreading corruption. So there, inside that ayah, like the Hud 85, is really saying about after the command to not being unjust to people in their weight and measurement, then this ayah come to tell them as a resolution of the command of the forbiddenness. Fahuwa umum ba'da khusus. Then it's actually, it is a generalness after a specific things. Means that specifically, if you want to understand, the topic is about measurement, buying and selling. That is specific things. But when Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَا تَبَخَسُوا النَّاسَ أَشْيَاءَهُمْ, it's become general. No, general command. Means that any matter, not only about buying and selling, and even about anything they do from among works. Among works, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, your father and your mother, don't ever you make them to lose their or reduce from their rights. So their rights is there. So you cannot reduce. So the rule that we are learning today is general. Even though before all the rule came inside the ayah, Al-A'raf 85, Hud 85, and also Surah Al-Shu'ara 183, all of it come after the specific topic is about reducing people in their measurement and weighing in buying and selling. Liyashmula jami'a ma yumkinu bakhsuhu min al-qalil wal kathir wal jalil wal hakir. That is so why Allah Ta'ala give us this rule, is to it encompasses all that may be reduced. Either it is actually from small or little or many, small or big. It doesn't matter. It's always become a rule. That is actually that it doesn't ever say that if it's a little is okay. If it's many, then it cannot. No, all of it, because actually after the specific command come the general rule that Allah Ta'ala put here. Qala Allamah At-Tahir bin Ashur rahimahullah, a scholar of tafsir, Tahir bin Ashur, he said, وَمَا جَاءَ فِي هَذَا التَّشْرِيعِ هُوَ أَصْلٌ مِنْ أُصُولِ رَوَاجِ الْمُعَامَلَةِ بَيْنَ الْأُمَّةِ. Then it's actually said here that whatever came in this legislative or law, it is actually the origin, an origin from among the source of spreading mu'amalah, people relationship between ummah. Means because we know that we will always need others. You cannot live alone. You must have connection with others. Then within that connection, whether it's buying or selling, marriage, or anything, helping each other, spreading charity, always the thing that you have between you and the other, or in working, employment, employer and employee, all of them, actually, that is the basic. This is the basic. Because humankind cannot live by its own. So they have to have relationship with others. So among things that will keep secure, so that their relationship with others become clean and good, and he will happy, the other people will be happy also, is actually about this ayah, this rule. لأن المعاملات تمتد ثقة المتبادلة بين أمتي. Because mu'amalah means that your people relationship is actually depending on the belief, on the trust on the trust between you and others in the ummah. Means that you trusting each other. That is actually the basic thing that you have the muamalah. If not, then you not buy from anybody. You want to buy from this person, he will lie to you. This person will lie to you. Then how can you live? You must buy something. Then the person must want to sell to you things. So the thing, the muamalah, the people relationship only moving around by the trust within each other, between each other in this ummah. Wa inama tahsulu bisyu'il amanati fiha, and the trust only will come into existence by the spreading of amanah. Amanah in English, what is it? Huh? Okay. The word is seldomly being used. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he himself being said as Al-Amin. Al-Amin because of reliance, honor, honesty, honesty. Trustworthy. Okay. Because the Prophet ﷺ being called Al-Amin. That is one of the basic things that Allah Ta'ala give for the Prophet, being known among his people before he become a prophet. That is called Al-Amin. The one is so trustworthy. So trust between people, each other is actually, that is the basic for you to have muamalah with each other. So you can live inside society when the feeling trustworthy or honor is there, meaning that those people will honor your right, and you will honor their right. So at the same time, the muamalah, the trust will build up, and having relationship between you and each other. فَإِذَا حَصَلَ ذَلِكَ نَشَطَ النَّاسُ لِلتَّعَامُلِ. If that thing is being exists, means that the amanah, the trust between you and others is actually being established. نَشَطَ النَّاسُ لِلتَّعَامُلِ, and people will start to being active in muamalah. We start to have connection with each other, buying and selling, renting, and everything will happen inside the society. فَالْمُنْتِجُ يَزْدَادُ إِنْتَاجًا وَعَرْضًا فِي الْأَسْوَاقِ. Then all the things, the whatever being to be sold inside the society, it become more abundant. And they will be given, we propose to be sell to others inside the market, because people essentially have that trust. You trust that person, he trusts you, and start all the things, all whatever you say, the export, import, everything will start to happen. This is the thing when we here in Al-Khadim try to buy dates directly from Saudi Arabia for last year. So sadly, the person that we have our connection with there in Saudi Arabia is not honest. So 30% or 40% of the dates being sent to us is actually not good dates for us to sell. So this year we're not buying from him. We're afraid to directly buying. So because actually the thing about when you get people to import things from outside, and many importers, the price will be reduced. People will get the opportunity to buy more and more in the market. But when the thing is only being brought here or being imported by few people only, because the loss of trust, you don't trust that person, because and the other side, this also you cannot believe them, you cannot believe in them. So the thing will make the import and export become reduced, because people doesn't trust each other. So that is like being said by Tahir bin Ashur. Wattalibu min tajirin aw mustahlikin yukbilu al aswaki aminan la yakhsha ghubnan wala khadi'atan wala khilabatan. The thing that being seek from the seller or the buyer, yukbilu alal aswaq, that they go into the market, aminan ala yakhsha, actually the person, where the seller or buyer, become peaceful, rather than afraid about being lost or being tricked or being sold off. You know, when you get all your rights, you will smile, happy, you go back. But you go into the market and you start to think that those seller will lie to you. And the people also start to not paying all the thing that they bought, reducing the value. Fatatawaffaru sila'u fil ummati. If that the piece is in there, then people will go into the market. If so, fatatawaffaru sila'u fil ummati, then all goods will be abundant inside the ummah. People will start to produce. Why? Because they know that they can sell. If not, then those people who they being lied to, they stop to sell. They start to sell. Like we said to you, we doesn't want to buy directly because of we don't have people that can assure us we won't be cheated by the exporter from there. So the thing is being reduced. So not many dates will be come into Malaysia. So the price will be high. So it's actually the topic about this trust that will build economy for the people is actually true. He said here, وَتَسْتَغْنِي عَنْ إِجْتِلَابِ أَقْوَاتِهَا وَحَاجَاتِهَا وَتَحْسِينَاتِهَا. And the people will be being enough, will be given enough from searching for their foods. وَحَاجَاتِهَا وَتَحْسِينَاتِهَا. And also its needs, and also things that we adorn them, because they can just go to the market and buy it. If not, they have to do it by their own self. Have to plant their own crops. Have to herd their own cattle. To keep their own chicken. Like today, these days, the price of eggs. I don't know, because some people say that the eggs is actually being reduced, or is not in the market. The cheap one, the one that have branded one, is actually is all there. The branded type of eggs, like they're being sold in plastic, special plastic. It is there. It is there inside the market. Only that people who are buying the eggs with abundant one stack. That type of big egg is not here right now. They said it's being reduced. Wallahu a'lam. Because sometimes the importer or the exporter or the producer, they like the price to be raised. So the way is they kept many of it in their farm. They don't release it, so that until the price become more than exactly what they want, they will start to sell it again, producing again. Like last year, this year, when happened about the reduce of chicken in the market, and suddenly when the chicken being released back, is bigger than the normal weight, 1.8 kilo. Means that the farmers kept the chicken in their farm until the price they get the price that they want. This is the thing that you should know, that things like this, the way that they do something like this, it making people distrust them. You don't trust them anymore. You know that they're actually playing around with the price. Even though you know, if you want to reduce the price, you can. How? Don't buy. Because in an economy, buying and selling, you know, the penawaran and permintaan, the supply and demand. Supply and demand is actually the thing that will connect with the price. The more supply, the less demand, the price will reduce. The more demand, the less supply, and the price will be high. Okay, so that's the way. So because you want to have people to get all the things inside the market. So trusting each other is the thing that will make them to have that supply. فيكون ماء المدينة والحضارة على أساس متين ويعيش الناس في رخاء وتحابب وتآخٍ. So the expansion of a city, of a civilization, is upon the strong basic, and strong basic is actually trust. Asasil matinatin, there is the trust, and people will live in wealth, and also loving each other and brotherhood, because they know that person will not lie to him. Actually, when we see about this, we in Malaysia, I don't know, it's rarely for us to see that the seller will tell you that my good is not really that good. You go to others. Go to the other person. The person is actually better than me. He is good. Is actually better. It's original from USA. Mine is actually from China. They said something like that. When you're buying and selling with them, they don't ever lie. They don't ever lie. They will always, when they are weighing something, after the weight, they will get one handful from the goods and put it here, put it on whatever you buy. They don't want it is be reduced from what you write. They willingly to give you more. The thing is actually the opposite. Here we know that some places, when they put the petrol, when you buy, it's the 10 liters. So the KPDH and the KK, that the ministry that concerned about the user their rights, they did some spot check on some of the petrol station. They found out that whenever the people buying 1 liter, it's not 1 liter, being reduced few milliliter. But when you lump sum all of it, it become profit for them more than they're supposed to. So when you put the petrol inside your car, some of that is being reducing the thing. The petrol is not 1 liter. 1 liter is less than 1 liter. So things like this, even the weighing of oil, the weight 1 kilo, suddenly it's not 1 kilo. So you know that this is the thing that people, when you start to have that being cheat, being lied to, you start to distrust others to sell and buy, and you start to not consuming, to become a good consumer. You don't want to consume because you know that people will lie to you. بدد إذا يتخلل حال الأمة بمقدار تفشي ذلك. It is actually the opposite of that when it's become wrong in the ummah, the condition of the ummah, as what the value that of the opposite of trust, the opposite distrust becomes spread inside the ummah. The more distrust in the ummah, the more the mu'amalah or buying and selling will not become a good thing for you. People will start to not buying and not selling. قال بعض المفسرين مبينا سعة مدلول هذه القاعدة. Some of the commentators of the Quran said, in explaining the vastness of the meaning of this rule. He said here, it's actually from Tafsir Kashaf, Zamakhshari. Take note that Zamakhshari is a Mu'tazilah person, but he is actually knowledgeable in linguistic, in Arabic language. So he said here, وَهُوَ عَامٌ فِي كُلِّ حَقٍّ. It is actually, this rule is general in every right. ثَبَتَ لِأَحَدٍ لَا أَلَّا يُحْضَمُ. That is actually fixed for a person, that it will not be left out. You will not be thrown away. Because the right is there. You cannot throw away the person's right. وَفِي كُلِّ مِلْكٍ. And also in every property. أَلَّا يُقْصَبُ عَلَيْهِ مَالِكُهَا. that will not be taken away the property from its owner. Wala yatahayyafu minhu, and also he will not be sent away from his ownership. Wala yatasarrafu fihi, and will not be done to the things, to the property, illa bi'idnihi tasarrufan wa syar'iyyan, except by his permission. His permission. Tasarrufan syar'iyyan, and by action is actually that is legal action only. Things that like this sometimes in our time right now, when you want to take the land of a person, this person have a land, and yet yes, you want to take the land, the government to take the land because of public interest, public welfare, for a road, for everything. For taking away the land of this person, just like that, is actually forbid. Even though he is just a person, and people that will get benefit from this land is the whole country, but still his right cannot be abolished just like that, because whatever owns by him is owned by him. This is what we can see from the way of the government from the time of the caliphs, Uthman bin Affan, and until today, the government of Saudi, that they actually will not be taking anybody rights except they compensate whatever they take from them. And the compensation is actually really true value, not just a value that is actually the value that to make sure that the government doesn't pay more. No, the person will get the value, its value, really value, because you cannot take away any rights from any person because you think it's better, or for the sake of the welfare of the public, because the thing is still his or hers until you get it through the lawful action. No lawful action, no taking of the properties. Idza tabayyana si'atu madluli hadhil qa'idati, and if it's being realized, being clear, the vastness, the spread of the meaning of this rule, wa anna man akhas min akhassi ma yadkhulu fihi, and that from among the specific what inserted inside this rule is bakhsul hukukil maliyah, is actually to reduce the rights of properties or wealth. Fa inna dalalatuha tattasi'u litashmula kulla haqqin hissi al-ma'nawi. Then its meaning not only about the rights of properties, but also actually to be vast, to encompassate kulla haqqin hissi, every physical right or spiritual right, sabata li ahadin minan nasi, that is actually being fixed for any person, any humankind. You cannot take away, even though originally it's about the property, but it's actually every right. Either it's physical right or spiritual right. You cannot take it away. Amal hukuk hissiyatu fakathiratun. For among the rights of physical right, there is so many. Minha ma sabaqat isyaratu ilaihi. Is actually from among it, what is being passed is the sign about it, the hint about it. Kal huquqi thabitati lil insan, as the right that is fixed for the human. Kal bait, like the house, wal ard, the land, wal kitabi, wal shahadati dirasiyah, books, and also the certificate of education and everything like that. When the person do come to the class and do take the examination, even though the teacher doesn't like him, still you have to give the right. If he answered correctly all the question, 100, you must give them 100. You didn't say that the al-kamalulillah, the perfect is only for Allah. So you don't give any student that correctly answered all the question 100 marks, because we said Al-Kamalu lillah. When the student came to you, teacher, I answered everything right. Why I only get 99 per 100? Then you said to him, Al-Kamalu lillah. Perfectness only for Allah. You are not perfect. So 99 is for you. Some teachers like that. But the problem is you cannot reduce whatever he already answered. The mark, you have to give it full. As many as he get, that is his right. You cannot do something like that. That is actually physical right. Wa amal hukukul ma'nawiyati, and among the rights, the spiritual right. Fa akthar min an tuhsar, it is more than can be counted. Walakin yumkinul qaul, and but maybe it can be said here, inna hadhil qa'idatil qur'aniyyati, that this Quranic rule, kama huwa qa'idatu fi abwabil muamalah, as it is in the topic of muamalah, in people relationship, fa huwa umumiha qa'idatun min qawā'idil insaf ma'a ghair. It is actually in its generalness, it is a rule from among the rules about to be fair to others. Be fair to others. The fairness that you have, you don't like the person, but the fairness between you and him must be uplifted. Wal Qur'anu mali'un bi taqrir qa'idatil insaf wa 'adam bakhsin nasi huquqahum. And Quran is actually abundant, filled up with the stand of rule of being fair. Wa 'adam bakhsin nasi huquqahum, and do not deprive people or reduce people from their rights. Ta'ammal masalan, look carefully as an example. Qaulullahi ta'ala, the saying of Allah in Surah Al-Ma'idah verse number 8, wala yajrimannakum syana'anu qaumin ala alla ta'dilu i'dilu huwa aqrabu littaqwa. Wala yajrimannakum, don't make it as a crime for you, syana'anu qaumin, the hatred, the enmity with people, some people, ala alla ta'dilu, become you to be doing the crime, so that you are actually not being fair, not being just. I'dilu, be just, be fair. Huwa aqrabu littaqwa, is actually nearer towards piety, towards Allah. Fatasawwar, imagine. Rabbuka ya'muruka an tunsifa aduwaka. Your God, your Lord is actually commanding you to be fair to your enemy. To be fair to your enemy. Because he said, don't make it as a sin. Yajrimannakum syana'anu qaumin. Your quarrel, your enmity with some people, so that you not being fair to them. I'dilu, be fair, be just. Hu aqrabu littaqwa. Your Lord is commanding you to be fair to your enemy. Wa alla yahmiluka bughduhu ala ghamti haqqihi, that so that is not making you the hatred, your hatred towards him, so that you actually not looking at his right. Afatazunnu anna dinan ya'muruka bil insafi ma'aduwika la ya'muruka bil insafi ma'akhika al muslim? Can you imagine that a religion that commanding you to be fair with your enemy is not telling you to be fair with your Muslim brothers? Some people really, they have that thinking about the non-Muslim more than the Muslim, rather than the Muslim. Because if the non-Muslim or the people that have enemy with you, you have to be fair. Your brother, your Muslim brother, have bigger right on that. But some people doesn't care about that. Say, no, we have to take care of the non-Muslims' heart, their feeling. What about the Muslims' feeling? You are not actually being just. So it cannot be imagined that Allah Ta'ala told you to be fair to your enemy, but not being fair to your Muslim brothers. Qala Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said, mu'alliqan rahimahullah, mu'alliqan ala hadhihi al-qa'idati, is actually commentating about this ayah. He said here, fanaha an yahmila al-mu'minuna bughduhum. He actually, Allah is forbidding the Muslim, the mu'min, the believers, to not being carried by their hatred. Bughduhum lil kuffar, towards the non-believers, ala alla ya'dilu alaihim, that for them to not being just or fair towards them. Fa kaifa idza kana al-bughdu lil fasikin aw mubtadi'in, and how it will be the hatred towards people who say disobey Allah, or mubtadi'in, who do innovation in the religion, muta'awwilin min ahli iman, that trying to understand deeper, wrongly, we said wrongly, from among people that is actually confessing iman. So they actually have the right more than the people that you dislike from the non-believers. You don't like them, but still you have to have their, to take care of their rights. فهو أولى أن يجب عليه ألا يحمله ذلك على ألا يعدل. Then that person, the disobedient person, the mubtadi', the one that make innovation in the deen, he is actually awla, is actually the more eligible, the more right, ayyajiba alayhi, that become obligated upon the person, the mu'min, alla yahmila, who that don't carry him the hatred that he have, ala alla ya'dila al mu'mini, that he doesn't do just or right, ala mu'minin, upon a mu'min, wa in kana zaliman lahu, even though that mu'min is actually oppressing towards him, even though he is oppressing towards him. Like Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, in this story, when he was being prisoned and being lashed every day because he doesn't want to say Qur'an is creation. Qur'an is a creation. Then some of his colleague, some of his friend came to him and said to him, just say it. It's just a little. Or some of them also said to him, just pray to Allah to destroy all the caliphs, the rulers. Because Imam Ahmad stayed in prison in 3 reign of Abbasid caliphs, Ma'mun, Mu'tasim, and Wathiq, for almost 10 years. So some of them said to him, just pray to Allah so that Allah destroy them. So Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, he said that those people, even though whatever from them, the wrong belief, wrong understanding from them, they are from among the family of the prophets, because they are descendant of Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib. So the Prophet said, I hope that I don't pray badness upon him, and ask Allah badness to befall upon them. The Allah Ta'ala will save me in the last day because I love the family of the Prophet. It's actually he thinking about that. Those people is actually oppressing him every day, but he's still thinking about the right that those people have as among the relative of the prophets, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Imam Ahmad is not praying, asking Allah, supplicating to Allah badness to happen to them. Even though if we are in his position, we will surely ask Allah to destroy them, or destroy our rulers for whatever happened to us. So it's actually so different between us and the Imam of Sunnah, Ahmad bin Hanbal. Wa fi waqi'il muslimin ma yanda lahu al-jabin min baksin lil huquqi wa ijfafin wa qillatil insaf hatta adda dhalika ila qati'atin wa tadaburin wa sidqil mutanabbi wa sadaqal mutanabbi yauma qala. And the reality of the Muslim, he says something that is actually yandad dabin, will make your forehead become having sweat. Sweat. You afraid of something, the sweat will come down from your head. Min baksin lil huquq, about the reduce of rights, and ijfaf, and not to have any good relationship. Wakillatil insaf, and the so little of just or fair. Hatta ada ila dhalika, until the things happen to make in the end becoming qati'atin. Qati'atin means that to cut off the tie. You don't have you don't want to have any relationship with the other person. And tadaburin, and you actually make a plan how to make that person fall. This from just because of the start, the person doesn't take care of the rights of others. So it come to cutting the ties of relationship between them, even brothers, father and mother, and also even until they one each other try to make a plan to make the other side fall. And it's true, the saying of Mutanabbi on the day he said, Mutanabbi is one of the famous poet in the time of the Arabs. It's actually being known, Mutanabbi. He said, "Walam tazal killatul insafi qati'atan bainar rajuli wa in kanu dawir rahimi." And it's always, he said, always the little of fairness. Qati'atan is become the cutter between men, become the cutter between men. Wa in kanu dawil arham, even though they have the relationship of rahim, means that the person may be you and him from the same rahim, or your father and his father from the same rahim, your cousin, or he is with one rahim with your father, your uncle. So the tie being cut off because of that, because qillatul insaf, because little of fairness between people. Because why? Because they want to give the rights of the others fairly. That's becoming the reason for cutting ties, and people doesn't have any relationship anymore. Wahada Imam Darul Hijrati. This is the Imam Darul Hijrah, Malik bin Anas, rahimahullah. Yu'linu shakwahu qadiman min hadhil afat. That is actually he exclaiming his comment, his comment, shakwahu, his complaint, qadiman, from long before, about this thing, about not giving people their rights. Fayaqulu, then he said, laisa fin nasi shay'un aqalla min al-insaf. Laisa fin nasi shay'un aqalla min al-insaf. There's nothing among the people is so little than being fair. Many things is not being done by people, but not being fair is the most. So much people doesn't take care of of being fair. Allaka Ibn Rushd ala hadhihi kalimati. Ibn Rushd al-Qurtubi, Cordoba, he comment on these words by Imam Malik. He said, Qala Malikun hadha lamma ikhtarabahu akhlaqun nas. Malik said this when he being tested by the manners of the people. Wa fa'idatul ikhbari bihi at-tanbihu 'ala adh-dhammi lahu. Fa fa'idatul ikhbari bihi at-tanbihu 'ala adh-dhammi lahu. The benefit of to remembering that for him to make clear, to realize about the bad saying to him, because he has his right as an imam, as a scholar, but people sometimes doesn't really take care about that right. Yantahin nas anhu, so that people will stop from him. Fayarifu kulladhi haqqin haqqahu, so that they will know everybody, every person they have right, his right, because he is a scholar. But people start to say bad about him, even though they know nothing about him. So he's saying that because people start to bashing him. So people essentially doesn't take care of the rights of others. That his position. So he just said the words like that. And there's nothing among the people. There's so little than being fair. وَقَلِّبْ صَفَحَاتِ التَّعَامُلْ فِي وَاقِعِنَا, and try to look into the reality of muamalah, of relationship in our life today. Yaktalifu ahaduna ma'a syakhsin akhar min asdiqaihi. A person have quarrel, this agreement. One of us with a person, another person from among his friend. Aw ma'ahadin min ahli al-fadli wal khair, or among people that have actually position and goodness inside the people, among the people. Ahli fadlin, advanced, the person that maybe he's a leader, he's a scholar, he's somebody. So we have quarrel with him. He said, فَإِذَا غَضِبَ عَلَيْهِ أَطَاهَ بِهِ. When he become mad, angry to that person, أَطَاهَ بِهِ, he start to shout to him and saying bad thing to him. وَنَسِيَ جَمِيعَ حَسَنَاتِهِ, and he forgot all the goodness that the person have gave to him. Some these days, we have few person that I don't know why, they learn from an ustaz, learn something from that ustaz, and when that ustaz doesn't agree with something they like, or they have opinion about it, they start to searching all over place in this world to strike back to their own teachers. They learn from that people, but suddenly they're talking all the fatwas in the world, try to bash the teachers that they learn from. If you don't like them, it's okay. Just move on. Take yourself away from them, but don't bash them. But suddenly you start to quarrel with them like they are your friend. Even though those people that I know about, they actually doesn't have the value of knowledge. Not 1% of the teacher that they learn from. They don't have any knowledge, but still they start to say about the sheikh like that, say about the ustaz like that. They don't have any knowledge. If you give them the books, Arabic book to teach, they cannot teach. But they start to say that this sheikh say about this ustaz. I don't like, even though this is the ustaz that he learned from few years, 5 years, 10 years. He start to go here and take fatwas, and go here, take some of the scholars saying about something, even though the scholars doesn't met the person that they want to rule about, doesn't know about that person. So that scholar starts to say that scholar is not good. You don't know the person. So it's really something that is happening right now. Wajami fadailihi, all advantages being forgotten. Wa idza takallama anhu takallama alayhi ma la yatakallam bihi ashaddan nasi adawatan. And when he talk about him, about the person that he have enmity with, you actually have this agreement with about something, but you start to talk about him. When he talk about him with what did not be said. You say about him did not be said by anybody that have more enmity with that person. The people from Ahli Bid'ah, even they didn't say something like that. But you, a person that actually doesn't have any knowledge, start to say about your sheikh or your guru, your ustaz, more than whatever the enemy cannot say, you can say it. Wal-Hayāh, may Allah Ta'ala protect us. Kul mithlu dhalika, say also like that. Fi ta'amula ma'a zillatil alimi. Say about that also in our relationship with the mistake by a scholar. Aw khata'in da'iyatin, or a wrongness that happened from a da'iyah, a person that called towards Allah. Alladhina urifa anhum jami'an talamusul khair. That being known by all people that he is actually always seeking goodness. Not bid'ah, but goodness. Okay? Wa raghbatu fil wusul ila al-haqqi, and also they have the desire to come and to arrive to the truth. Walakin lam yuwafiq fi hadhihi al-marrati aw tilka, but he doesn't get the tawfiq in this time or the other time. He always doing the good. This time he make mistake. Fatajidu ba'dun nasi yansa. Then you will found that certain people actually forgetting yansa. Aw yansifu tarikhahu, or destroying all his history, the history of that person. Wabalahu wajihaduhu, and also the calamity and his striving, and also his benefit. Wa nafihi lil Islam wa ahlihi, for Islam and his people. So you forget all of it because just one thing. That like when I was in Yemen, there are few people that actually talking about Syekh Adli Mohd Azindani, Hafizahullah. This person, they said that he is actually, they said he is Hizbi, going into the political person. But he actually, the one that before in the time of Soviet come into Afghanistan, he's one of the person that went there and stopped all the Mujahideen of Arabs, stop the advancement of Russia there. He actually doing that, but he not just saying, he went there to help people there in Afghanistan, and came back after Russia went out. He came back to his country, because that's the thing. The person have many things, many benefit to Islam, but people that doesn't have that thing, doesn't have insaf, doesn't have fairness to others, they don't look about whatever the person have. Yes, the mistake, you have to remind about the mistake. You say this is mistake. I don't agree with my sheikh on this matter. But you don't ever throw him away and saying that he doesn't have any benefit to Islam and the people of Islam. Bisabi khata'in lam yahtamiluhu dhalika mutakallimu aw naqidu, because of one mistake that cannot be bear by that person who's saying, or that person who commenting about that person, about that scholar or alim. Ma'annahu qad yakunu ma'dhuran fi, even though the person may have excuses about whatever happened from him. He may have excuses. We did learn about that. About idza ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, when a disobedient person came to you with any news, then check it first, clarify it first. They said that there's two things about hearing news. First, you have to make sure that it is true. Then second thing is actually you have to know why it happened. Why it happened. Maybe it's true, but why it happened? Because the two things, when you understand it correctly, maybe you will not say bad things about others just because you listen or heard about him something. Because you have to know why that happened. Because sometimes maybe the person have a reason for that. He said here, وَلِنَفْتَرِضْ أَنَّهُ غَيْرَ مَعْذُورٍ. If we say that the person is not not having any excuses, then you cannot say that he is actually not to be blamed. Okay. Fama hakadha turidul ibil. But this is not like that. You actually, this is the actually I would say the proverb in Arabs. When a person taking with him camel from a place to another place, there's a way for you to take care of the camel to go to the valley to eat. So if you wrongly take the camel to that place, the camel may not come to you, with you to that place. So the word we say there, fama hakadha turidul ibila, it's not like that. You bring the camel. Wama hakadha you rabbina al-Qur'an. And also Qur'an doesn't ever taught us like that, doesn't educate us like that, to say something bad just like that without thinking about the position of the person. Bal inna hadhil qa'idah al-Qur'aniyyah, even so that this Quranic rule, allati nahnu bi sadadil hadith anha, that we are in the talking, the discussion about it, to akidu daruratul insaf. It is actually emphasizing the importance of being fairness. وَعَدَمِ بَخْسِ النَّاسِ حُقُوقَهُمْ, and do not deprive human or reduce people from their rights. Because they have their rights. You don't say, even like your father or your mother, even though they are following the bid'ah, they are not following the truth. But the way you say to them as your parent is actually you have to take care about that. Even they are not a Muslim, you cannot say bad words to them. It's being told by Allah in the Quran. Even though they are not taking care of the rights of Allah, you are not, you didn't get the permission to discard their right as your parent. They are discarding the right of Allah, but you cannot discard their right as your parent. That is the thing. Wasamata suratun ukhra, and there's also another picture about this. Takarrara yawmiyan takriban is actually being repeating daily, almost daily being repeated. Yaghibu fiha insaf, that the fairness become non-exist. Wahia anna ba'dal kuttabi wal mutahaddithina, that some of the writers and also some of the speakers, hinama yantaqidu jihazan hukmiyan, when they commenting about the government, the government authority, means that maybe the ministry of this or that, some of it, not the whole government, maybe some of it. Aw mas'ulan ala ahad al-wizarat, or anybody who is actually from people who have place in one of the ministries. Yahsul minhu ijhaf wa baqsin, actually ijhaf wa baqsun, harshness and also depravity or reducing actually happen from him. Lil jawaribil musyrikati fi hadhil jihazi wa dhak, upon the good sides of this part of the government or that. And wayabda'u yakatibu al-mutahaddithu, and the writer or the speaker start to bisa binafsiyati lati dakhala biha, because something that enter inside his feeling, la yatahaddathu illa min zawatil akhta, he doesn't say anything except from the side of wrongness, lackness. Only the lackness. You have the positive, you only focus on the negative. Nasiyan aw mutanasiyan an-nadhara, actually forgetting or making forget to look, another to look min zawiyatis sawab, from the side of rightness, wal hasanat and goodness, al-kathirati that vast, allati wuffiqa laha dhakal mirfaqul hukumi, that being given by Allah the rightness to that person from the side of the government. Aw dhaka syakhsul mas'ul, or that person who is responsible for that, responsible person is also, they have the goodness, but you actually you don't look at it at all. Wa ma hakadha yurabbil Qur'anu ahlahu, this is not how Quran educating its people. Balil Qur'anu yurabbihim ala hadzal ma'na al-'azim, and even Quran is actually educating them upon this great meaning. Alladhi dallas alayhi hadhil qa'idah al-muhkamati, that is being shown by this fixed great rule. Wala tabakhasun nasa asya'ahum, don't you belittle people of their or belittle or reducing or deprive people of their due or their rights. Wa taluhu hahuna suratun mu'limatun fi mujtama'ina. Actually, we want to share, want to make it appear here a picture that is actually so hurtful, so hurting in our society. Taka'u min ba'di kufala alladhi yabkhasuhu qadamihim aw ummalihim, that is actually depriving and reducing the right of its helpers or its workers. For yuakhiruna rawatibahum, then they make it to become late. They late in paying their salary. Warubama haramuhum min ijazatihim. Or maybe they stop them, the workers or the helpers, from their holiday. What's the holiday? Their rest or holiday. Actually, the word holiday is actually something that until now being used. Other than that, what? Cuti. Vacation is actually, when you say vacation, you thinking about going somewhere. You're taking off work. Okay? They didn't give even to take off from their works. Al-mustahaqati, that are rightful for them. Rightful for them, but they didn't give them. Wa darabuhum bighayri haqqin, or they hit them with no excuses, with no reason. This is some people are like that. Some people, some employer are like that. They are actually doing that, thinking that their employee is like the servant. They can hit them, spit on them, or talking bad because the person really need the money. So you do harsh thing to them. Fi silsilatil mu'limatin min anwa'idh dhulmi wal baghsi, in series of in hurtful series of many oppression and reducing of rights. Afala yattaqillah, don't they fear Allah? Those people don't they fear Allah? Allah said on the Surah Mutaffifin, verse number 4 to 6. Ala yadhunnu ulaika annahum mab'uthun. Don't those people think or have the feeling that they will be brought to life, back to life. Liyaumin azim, for the great day. Yauma yaqumun nasu li rabbil alamin, on the day that all the people will stand up in front of Allah Rabbil Alamin, the Lord of the universe. Don't they have the fear? Because they are doing that, Allah Ta'ala will make them appear in front of Him to be judged by Allah. Ala yakhshawna an yusallata alayhim. Don't they be afraid? Don't they have fear that will be put upon them? Will be have authority upon them. Bisababi zulmihim, because of their oppression. Liman tahta aidihim, towards whoever under their hand, under their authority. Wa bakhsihim huquqa khadamihim wa umalihim, and the reduce or their depravity towards their rights of their servant and their workers. Man yuzlimuhum wa yubkhisuhum huquqahum. The Allah Ta'ala will make authority upon them who will oppress them or deprive them from their rights. Don't be afraid, because Allah Ta'ala will always, if not in the last day, He will make it here to happen. Sometimes when we get a non-good leaders, the thing will return back to what we did. It's not just the leaders come for trial for us, but sometimes it's a punishment from Allah to us because of whatever we did. Okay. Ala yakhshawna min uqubati dunyawiyati qabla al-ukhrawiyati. Don't they afraid? They have fear towards the punishment of dunyawi, the worldly punishment before the last day punishment. Tusibuhum bima sana'u, that will befall upon them because of whatever they did. Yaqa'ul bakhsu ahyanan. The depravity or the reducedness will happen sometimes. Fi taqyimil kutubi awil maqalati, in valuing books. When you got some books, some writers writing books, you get the books, so you start to value the books. Aw maqalat, or even a column or a saying inside a newspaper or anything. Ala nahwi alladhi asharna, on the same way that we have shown here just now. Sometimes it's become on valuing books that is actually being published. وَلَعَلَّ مِنْ أَسْبَابِ غَلَبَةِ الْبَخْسِ عَلَى بَعْضِ النُّقَادِ فِي هَذِهِ الْمَقَامَاتِ. And maybe from among the reason of depriving and reducing is become more on some of the commentators or critics, in this stand. Annana yakra'u biniyatin tasayudi al-akhta'i wal uyub, because the reader, the critics is actually reading the book by the intention to find or to pick all the wrong, all the lackness that in that book. Wala because the taqimil munsif, and not because of fair judgment or fair value. Wa ibraz as-sawab min al-khata', or to make it appear the right from the wrong. Indaha yatadakhamul khata'u, because indaha, at that time the wrongness will become so big. Wa yaghibu as-sawab, and the goodness will go away. Wallahu musta'an, Allah is only one that we ask for help. Nas'alullah ta'ala an yarzuqana insafa fi min anfusina. We ask Allah Ta'ala that may He give us fairness from our own self. We have the fairness. Wal insaf li ghairina, and also fairness towards others. May Allah Ta'ala give fairness to us and fairness from us towards others. Wa an yaj'alana minal muta'addibina bi adabil Qur'anil amilina bihi. And may Allah Ta'ala make us people who have manners, with the manners of the Qur'an, and also the people who practicing with the Qur'an, practicing the Qur'an. Amin. Okay. Alhamdulillah, we finished there. Look into the question, if there's any question from online first. Oh, no question, alhamdulillah. Any question here? Alhamdulillah. So inshallah we will continue next week. Our topic today is 28th rule. Inshallah next week 29th rule. It is actually about, scroll down. Scroll down. Dek. Apa saja bunga dia. That is actually the topic about wallahu a'lam bi a'daikum. Allah is the most all-knowing about your enemy. You sometimes think that somebody become your enemy. The one that really know who is your enemy is Allah. So inshallah we'll go into that next week. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.